Welcome to KNN. It's good to see you again. We are back. Second week after Gen Con. I think I'm still recuperating from that, but we are here to talk about. Oh, I'm Denoctum, by the way.
I'm Chaos.
I'm Chaos. We are going to talk about a couple of things. We are super excited about Riot Quest.
Yes.
We demoed it. We're not going to talk about it first, but we are super excited about it. That's on the docket for today.
Yep.
But we have some GW stuff coming out this week. We get some new Space Marine stuff, which is actually, I'm pretty excited about the Ultramarine stuff. I know you were starting one too. I've always had Ultramarines.
They kind of got put on hold again.
Yours did?
Yeah, well,
because you're working on all your privateer stuff.
Well, no, because I'm going back to work on my personal chapter now that I saw the create your own chapter rules again. It's like it really reinvigorated me wanting to work on my own chapter. And I'm still trying to get my Death Guard going still too. So, So Space Marines have a new book dropping.
Yep.
And this is pretty exciting as a Space Marine player, and I mean, a good number of Space Marine players out there. And I think the thing I noticed right away about this, then this may be a petty point, the price tag's $40 instead of $50. It dropped $10. So go Games Workshop for bringing their codex in line with everybody else. Flip side of that, of course, we have the Codex supplements that are separate books. And they're $30 books separately. But if you're not playing one of those chapters and you are a create your own chapter kind of guy like I am, then you just need the main book. You don't need all the extra books.
Sure.
So I think that was really cool. And then we had 2 new characters come out. I shouldn't say new. Yeah. We have 2 reworks of characters coming out this week.
Tigress comes out. I'm excited for him. The librarian for the Ultramarines.
Yeah, Chief Librarian.
I think the model looks good. I don't know. Games Workshop makes such good models that when I look at it and I go, yeah, that's okay. That's probably not good enough. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah,
like I thought they could have done a little more with them, but I like the model.
We'll talk about something that's not that way in a minute. It just came out last week.
Yeah, there you go.
And then the con for the White Scarves. So we're getting a non-Ultramarines character in a Primaris setup. And that's really cool too.
Yeah.
And so those are dropping this Saturday. Plus like new data cards, new dice.
By the way, I want those Ultramarine dice. They actually look really cool. Which not always GW character dice we like, but
right.
Those
in fact,
ones
we've been pretty critical of their dice in the past because I'm a big fan of the special symbol should be on the 6, not the 1. I want to be excited when the number comes up, not
now they're both on it. Now they do.
They do like a skull. They do a skull on the 1, and they do the good symbol on the 6. So
which is okay. It gets a little confusing for me, but I'm still reeling from the Nurgle dice. The death. I think they were Death Guard dice actually.
Yep.
Still.
So that's this week's releases. The next week we have more Space Marine stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Now the 3. Well, we'll start with the unexciting ones to me. We have 3 characters being released separately, but they are characters that have been previously released. Yeah, they came in. You have 2 characters that came in Shadowspear, and then the librarian, or not the librarian, the lieutenant that came in the Wake the Dead box.
Right.
And those are all being released next week. But then the new one is the Invictor warsuit that they put out.
Yes.
Which is apparently not a dreadnought, even though it looks suspiciously like a Redemptor dreadnought, but it has a live Space Marine inside the cage area, the chassis of it, and it has a heavy bolter that basically gets like a pistol special rule when it's in close combat and can be modeled to be held by the Power Fist. It's like clamped on the side of the walker. It looks neat. I mean, I've always liked Space Marine vehicles. I love dreadnoughts, so I'm not put off by the appearance of it at all.
My only thing is like they're touting it as this secret stealthy. It's like, well, then don't build a dreadnought. Because what? I mean, I'm sure there's some backstory.
Raven Guard have been doing stealthy dreadnoughts for 10,000 years, so the rest of the Imperium just took a cue from them finally.
It's all good. I like Space Marines. I've always been the guy though that sits in the shop when we talk about Space Marines and kind of feel like they get a little too much love all the time because they're like the poster children.
They are the poster children,
and I know, but I just like give some love to some other.
They're
armies.
Futuristic knights in armor.
They're cool.
Power armor is based off of plate mail design originally. It's futuristic knights in armor. It's how you draw the fantasy crowd in. And 40K came out at a time when D&D was the hot
Put something else on a poster. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
All my cutout dudes are all Space
Chaos
Marines
Space
or
Marines.
Sig Marines. Yeah, do something. Oh, jeez. Never mind. Moving on to our next next thing is also from Games Workshop.
Last week we had the Warcry releases. We had the Splintered Fang, the Corvus Cabal, and the Unmade.
And you played Corvus Cabal.
I played against them. So we did a bunch of live streaming on Saturday. Go back and check out the videos if you missed it. We did 3 games of Warcry on Saturday. We even had a guy who played his first and second games of Warcry on live stream just to kind of showcase how easy the game is to pick up. We had
It
another guy who played his first game on the stream as well, and everyone who played it loved it. They had a lot of fun. The games are fast. Even teaching new people how to play the game and doing setup took less than an hour per game. And but after all of that was done, I got to play against the Corvus Cabal, and I got my first win in Warcry against them. And it was nothing to do with the warband. It was just a mind game of he had to end models in a certain quadrant and didn't know which quadrant it was. He ended in 3 of them.
Yeah.
And of course, the one that he didn't end in was the one that he had to end in to win the game. But they're brutal. They're fast. They hit pretty hard. They're a lot more resilient than I thought they were going to be. You think like bird people and like you think fragile, and they're not that fragile. They're on par with Untamed Beasts that I played against.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't played them. I haven't even looked at their numbers yet. I'd like to do that.
I picked up the Cypher Lords and I picked up the Splintered Fang, and I was really excited about the models for the Splintered Fang. Like the models got me. And so saying like talk about looking at Games Workshop models and being like like their okay models are still usually leaps and bounds of other companies.
Well, I think these models, I haven't seen even a warband in here that I don't think was really good.
Yeah, the warbands are amazing. That's what I'm saying.
It's kind of like your
you see the Space Marines
stuff.
And you're like, those are
that's where I was like,
but
dude.
You look at the Warcry models and you're like, these are just so dynamic.
Yeah.
They're so action posed. They paint up so well too. And I mean, I just primed my Untamed Beast this morning, and I want to work on them. But I just cracked the boxes for the Splintered Fang and for the Cypher Lords. The Cypher Lords we had talked about, and you'd given
they came out with the original box set,
and you'd kind of given me a review that you thought they were kind of weak. They didn't seem you thought they were kind of underwhelming. Do you still feel that way?
I haven't played them yet.
Okay,
but reading the stat lines, kind of, because they're missing like. You look at Untamed Beasts or even the Iron Golems, and they've got some beefy stats. These guys move pretty good, but like most of their guys are 3 strength.
They're fragile.
They're very fragile and they're very weak. So,
but having said that, I read their ability card, and they have so many abilities that every one of their guys can do.
Yes, that's one of their advantages. But again,
you got to have doubles.
You're a slave to the dice at that point.
But I'm actually more excited about them than any warband right now.
Even the Splintered Fang, huh?
Even the Splintered Fang. I mean, model wise, they were pretty close. Like Cypher Lords were my second choice of the new warbands. Splintered Fang was I just saw those and fell in love with the models. But having read the cards now, I'm actually more interested in building the Cypher Lords and seeing how they play.
They're quick. I bet they play well in a game where you weren't trying to kill your enemy. And there's a lot of those in Warcry. Sure. So that's totally fair.
So anyway, Warcry is still a game that's high on our list as games that are just like favorite to play right now. I think
it's really good,
and it's fast. You can get a game in really easily. In our LGS, we usually have a few people kind of wandering around looking to get games of it in.
Campaign coming up.
We are doing a campaign soon. So in the campaign system, I read it when the game first came out. I can't say I retained all of it to like give a ton of details, but I remember being really impressed with the campaign system.
Their systems are usually
and
good
I'm really excited to run through that. My only, I don't say disappointment, the thing I was looking for that it didn't have is like an XP system like Necromunda does, where you can like level up your guys. But instead they have like a magic item system where you equip your guys with items that are one use, or you may keep the benefits of, or you may not. And then you have like thresholds where you get permanent bumps. And maybe it'll work out better than an XP system. We'll see how it plays out. We'll do a campaign and find out. But I'm really excited to do more Warcry. And I mean, I love to play games, but like I'm one of those guys. Like I'll play a game. Let's say I play a game of 40K, for instance, or War Machine and Hordes, or any of the games like that. I'm one of those guys that I'll play a game and I'm like, I'm good. I don't need to play another game for a couple days now. And Warcry isn't that kind of game. It doesn't like, I don't suffer from like a gamer burnout after playing it.
Well, short.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, need another game because your other game only took 10 minutes.
Sometimes, I mean, the games are only a few rounds, but I mean, they're intense games though. Like,
yeah, they're bloody.
I feel like I'm making tough choices while I'm playing, but I really enjoy it.
It's well designed. It was a good game.
So yeah, let's jump gears away from Games Workshop a little bit. But before we jump into Privateer, because I want to talk a lot about Privateer.
Yeah.
Pathfinder 2.
We made characters for it, and it was a lot of fun. It didn't even roll any dice.
Right.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Paizo nailed it. We're going to have our show for Pathfinder called The Realms starting next Wednesday. We had some player we were putting a group together for it,
and then some people bailed at the last minute.
Yep.
We had to fill a spot, and
it's a world of gamers. But so we will be nailing it on next Wednesday.
Yes, next Wednesday. We're just spending tomorrow with some of them making characters and getting everything done. Everyone familiar with the rules. And then, next Wednesday we are going to kick it off. Denactum is running the game. I'm playing in the game. And then we have 3 other players. Bad X Ash, who runs RPG Out of the Box, is going to be a player. So you get 2 people who you see as GMs already in our shows get to be players in this one. And 1 person who's a player gets to be the GM. So it should be kind of fun. And then we have 2 new faces.
Katrina and
Todd. Yep, coming on.
Yeah.
Both really solid role players, and it'll be really fun.
I'm excited. The Pathfinder system in general, and again, I didn't spend a ton of time in Pathfinder 1.
I didn't
like hardly any time. I think you did a little
their
bit.
World. But... I ran a campaign for 16 months. It was all in their world, and I love their world. I think it's like one of the best put together fantasy worlds out there. I'm a big fan of Forgotten Realms and Greyhawk, and a bunch of other ones too. Eberron, but I love Golarion. Like, Golarion is my home away from home right now, and
it'll be exciting. And I think the system itself works well. They added the Alchemist to the main book. We talked about that last week. Changed some of the terms. A paladin's now called the champion.
Mm-hmm.
We have ancestry instead of race.
Game's evolving with the time,
I
with
think
culture.
It's totally fine. Doesn't change much. But I really dug the character creation system.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the combat. Love the combat book they came out with. The
combat
combat tracker,
pad?
the pad. I thought that was. I've looked at that.
Sure, we'll be
I'm
using
actually
that.
pretty excited about
you got
using
a
it.
spiffy new GM screen you're going to break out for this too, right?
Are we
from
using
Gen
that
Con?
one from Roll for Initiative? Those guys?
We could.
Yeah, let's do that. And then they also we got a little set for the dungeon.
Dungeon tiles, wet erase dungeon tiles
that you can piece together. Should be really cool. And that's Roll from Initiative.
We'll be breaking out models for this one. I got new dice at Gen Con I'm going to be using for this game. I've been saving them for this game,
So no, it'll be really exciting, and I'm excited about Pathfinder 2. So check it out next week on Wednesday at 7:00, and you too can see what is in store with the Pathfinder 2. And I don't think we're gonna run a module on the game. I don't think we're starting with one because they're gonna do it out of they're gonna do that out of the box after they do Starfinder. So we're gonna run. It's gonna be kind of a homebrewed campaign. Should be a lot of fun, a lot of role playing, and we'll get with it on Pathfinder 2, and you'll get to see it kind of firsthand rather than have us just chat about it. So it's always better in a role playing game, in my opinion. But character creation again, totally slick.
Yes.
Loved it. Thought it was fantastic. Didn't feel underpowered after I was making. You know what I mean? Where you're like, oh, this I have to grow. No, I felt like I was powerful.
You got a pretty good character right out of the gate. Yeah.
So. All
right. So. We kicked through all that really fast.
That's okay, because we want to talk about privateer stuff. I'm going to talk about a couple of things before we get to Riot Quest, which we're going to actually follow up with a demo game, or actually a full-on game.
We're going to do some games.
Games of Riot Quest after. But Mompoc, we got that stuff coming in. Looks good. Monster Apocalypse. I think the game's going to play a lot better when we are able to get outside the demo and have.
Yes.
Just like the gentleman at Gen Con said, you got to play with more guys, and I think it'll be way more fun, way more strategic, a lot more to it. But what's really exciting me too, aside from Riot Quest, is the War Machine Hordes.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a Journeyman's League.
Yep.
Totally excited about kind of rebooting that whole deal in our store. Oblivion comes out next month. Looking forward to that. I've been reading it. I know Infernal's coming. I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
but are you playing Crucible Guard or Infernals? We're gonna have to have that conversation. There is a thing that we should talk about as KNN News. It's called Gamer ADD. You can't play every single army, but you can say you can.
We've been back from Gen Con for how many days now?
I know.
We came back 9 days ago. Okay. The day we came back, I didn't do any painting. The day after, I hung out with my wife and didn't do any painting. Since then, I have painted 42 models.
They're all privateer.
No, some of it's some scenery for Warcry. But like I did a bunch of Riot Quest. I painted the 11 Riot Quest models.
Have you painted the Infernals you got?
I just primed 5 of them today. Okay. So I'm just throwing that out there. That by the time my Crucible Guard get here, I'll have some Infernals done.
Painting though, I'm talking about playing the army.
I'll do it too.
Okay.
But you gotta paint them first.
What are you gonna play in the Journeyman's League?
I don't know.
Okay.
I got time to decide.
Sidebar.
I like it though because right now because War Machine and Hordes have been kind of dead in our area for a while. And
Yeah.
We're really working to resurrect it right now. And
I don't think it'll take a lot of effort on our part, but
not at all.
I was worried that the whole thing was shut down.
Because of that, nobody around here plays Infernals. Nobody plays Crucible Guard because those armies have come out kind of in that dead time, and now we're getting it back going again. And so I could do either one. And I have a color scheme idea for the Crucible Guard already in mind. That's going to be really easy to paint, I think. We'll find out when I get the model.
That's when you get really excited about armies. Though.
I do. I love starting projects. Finishing projects is always harder. But like having said that, I started working on my Beast of Chaos for Age of Sigmar, and I just crossed the 100 model marker on that army. So I started that army back in January, and I kind of put it on hiatus back in April. And I've had models sitting on the desk, and I had a little extra time on the desk. So,
do you feel like you suffer from gamer ADD?
Yeah, all the time.
Mission is the first step, people. Mission
however,
is the first step.
That's why I work on painting so
I'm
fast.
Just kidding.
That way, I can paint all.
I can't paint fast.
40,
I don't paint as fast as you, and my models don't even look as good.
42 models in 8 days of painting.
No,
that's what I finished.
I painted 6.
So,
I think.
just over 5 models a day. I can't keep that rate going.
Fast. No, you're gonna burn out. You start playing some games.
I got to.
Anyway, so excited about that.
So,
Journeyman's League. We'll have some on the video.
So anybody who doesn't know,
it'll be really good.
Doesn't know, Journeyman's League is an official league put out by Privateer Press. That is an escalation league. You start at 0 point list, which is a starter box, and then every week you add models. And they have 2 different rates of add. They have a 6-week league and a 9-week league. Locally, I'm going to say we usually run the 6-week league because gamers start to fall off after the 4th or 5th week usually. Well, something new comes out from somebody, either that company or a different company, and everyone like.
So maybe ADD is not the right word. What is it? Because that's what happens. You get. Oh, I'm really excited, and then next week there's an announcement, and you're onto something else. That's all.
Our gamers are beautiful butterflies that flip from game to game.
Gamer butterflies. Yeah. That's a way better term. We're gonna coin that here at KNN. Gamer butterflies. The butterfly effect? No.
I'm excited about Oblivion because I'm reading the Oblivion book right now, and I'm not going to give any spoilers, but they fill in a lot of blanks in the history of Amorian, and they explain a lot of things that have kind of been mysteries. And I love that when you've been in a world for a while and then they kind of go back and explain why things are the way they are. And they have added, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I really feel like the Infernals are an idea that happened a few years ago and weren't planned from the beginning. And maybe Matt, we can get him on the show, maybe Matt will clarify that for us. But they fit them in so seamlessly, like you feel like this has been planned from the beginning. You look at it, you're like, was it planned, or did they just do a really good job of adding it later? And I would bet on doing a really good job of adding it later. But man, like where they put the Infernals into the storyline, how they fill the gaps in the history of the world, what they're doing now in the world, I love it. Like it's filled in a lot of blanks that for me as a fan of their fluff and their world. It just really brought it.
Well, I'm also excited to play Grimkin, so I'll just leave that on the table.
Sure.
I may just
but the history's fantastic, and so I'm reading the Oblivion book cover to cover, which is how I normally read gaming books, and so I'm in the history section still, in the fluff of it, and I just love how it's written. The Grimkin book, when that came out, that knocked it out of the park. How well written that book was, and the design and the aesthetic of the book, and the things scrawled in the margins and everything. Like I love that book. And this book is written in a different style, but on par with that level of writing. So that's
the new game, though.
So yes,
so we'll bring you the link.
So that's our War Machine and Hordes talk. Super excited to play more War Hordes. I broke out my Convergence army. I was really excited. One of the Crucible Guard models that I had ordered this week is a Warcaster who can be played in either Crucible or Convergence. So that was some of my reasoning too on that. But yeah, we have Riot Quest. You have the box. Let's show the box.
I do, but it's got models in it, so I can't really show the. I'll take them out though.
Oh, nice. You did your bases very differently than mine.
Yeah, I do. They were not quite done, but I didn't get them done because I don't paint as fast as you. This is Riot Quest. Comes in a small box like this. Great, 5 models with the board. I didn't order neoprene mats.
Dice. Are they out yet?
I don't know if they are, but
I
want to get them as soon as I
There's a thing here I didn't notice until today, so I'm going to have you read how to play the game off the side of the box.
How to play. Choose 5 Riot Quest models. They're inside the box. 2, roll the dice, also inside the box, and count the explosions. 3, knock out your opponent's characters because they have the loot. 4, now grab that loot quick because it's why you got up this morning. 5, laugh hysterically. 6, rinse, repeat.
That's how to play the game.
It's super good and it's super easy. It is a great game. It is a 5 to 10 model, I believe, you can take up to on the board.
Yep,
you only
in your
have
crew.
In the crew, and you only have 4 on the board at a time. So it plays up to 4 players.
Yep, 2 to 4 player game. Games play in 20 to 30 minutes normally.
Yeah, and you score 7 victory points, and then you're off, and you win. And you can do that by looting. You can do that by killing the other guys. Or you can do that by disarming traps and doing some rigging checks and stuff like that. It's pretty simple. It's really good.
There's 2 ways to earn points. You earn them like accomplishing bounties, which is a variety of different bounties. There's a deck of cards that are your bounties. 2 are in play at all times. And then you can get it by knocking out opponents. And you get 1 every time you knock out an opponent. You can get 1 or 2 depending on your bounty. First person to 7 wins it. But you're also trying to get loot at the same time to be able to get gear to make your warband better. So it's an interesting mix of strategies in the game of like, do you focus
and it's played on a hex board, so it's not measurement, it's not open table, it's on a hex board.
It's on a hex map. The poster map comes with the game. They did promise though that neoprene mats were coming with them on it as well, which I'm excited about.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too, and showing those off because a lot of guys are gonna like those.
Not a big fan of poster maps normally, just because the creases and folds.
I even went to go laminate mine, but I couldn't do it at Staples. It was too big.
Okay, fair enough.
So anyway, it'd probably be hard to see on the camera.
So we're going to be doing some Riot Quest tonight, starting at 7:30 in our show. Lock and Load.
Yeah, Lock and Load is on Tuesdays.
It's dedicated to Privateer. We're not trying to steal anything from Privateer or anything.
I thought it would be like a good platform. And Lock and Load's generic. I looked it up. It's okay.
That's what they call their big event.
That's their big event. Their con, if you will, is I don't know if it's a con per se, but they play all their events, and it's called Lock and Load, and it happens in. I think Memorial Day.
Yeah, I think it's Memorial Weekend. We're actually hoping to go next year.
Yeah, and that'll be really exciting. But I thought we would, because our Tuesday show is going to be called Lock and Load, dedicated to Privateer games, because there's just a lot that we're excited about. And we want to show you guys and kind of bring that to your attention. We're also going to have some how-to videos coming up. This close to getting my wife to do.
Oh, nice.
This close. So it'll be really exciting, and we'll have that, because we like to bring that from a newer non-gamer player, because I think it makes it better when you explain it out.
Explain it in non-gamer terms for new people
layman's
looking to play
terms and that kind of thing. It'd be really good. So we are super excited about that. And so we are bringing Tuesdays. We moved RPG Out of the Box to Mondays, which was great last night, by the way. If
good
you missed
showing.
it,
shout out to
Paizo.
Paizo jumped on and hung out with us a bit last night.
A lot of fun. A lot of new followers from that. Hopefully that, and we had a lot more viewers than normal. So I'm hoping that on Monday, maybe Monday's a better time slot. So we're learning as we go as well. So Lock and Load, our Lock and Load show will be here 7:30 on Tuesdays, and it'll be
Mountain Standard Time.
Mountain Standard Time, just kind of putting Privateer press games into your view. War Machine Hordes,
Monster Apocalypse,
Riot Quest, and maybe some other stuff. I know they have Iron Kingdoms and
Iron Kingdoms is like they have an RPG,
but that's the box, all that kind of stuff.
Well, there's the skirmish game too. That's minus the Warcasters.
So we'll be bringing you all those things. Probably a lot of Warma Hordes, I would guess, because we are super excited about those again and getting those back into.
We are getting our local player base too to get some models painted up to do battle reports.
That's always the thing, and honestly, on our shows, I will be honest, Chaos won't let us bring, like, if we could just bring models that were gray, we could play the heck out of most games, but Chaos won't let that happen. So finding players to play is a little bit harder, and finding armies to play with is a little bit harder, because not everybody has painted armies. Right. I have been painting a lot more in the last 2 weeks than
I have been cracking the whip a lot more the last.
Yes, he's getting on me. I have marks on my back. But those games are great. I'm actually super stoked. It actually is good for me, so keep cracking the whip. I want to finish. I got a couple Grimkin models on the table I want to get done.
You need to finish more
Riot
of these
Quest
by
is
Thursday.
going next. What's
Thursday? We're doing it again.
Oh my
We're playing Riot Quest again. Because our Immersion RPG, we're missing players this week, so we're going to do a special Riot Quest episode
on that's
Thursday.
Right. I forgot about that.
And I need you to paint up one,
dudes.
preferably 5 more models by Thursday.
Okay. One preferably 5.
1 means we play with 4-player warband, so you're supposed to have 5 normally.
Oh, killing.
5 means we all get 5 characters.
My guys are getting purple bases, just so you know.
That's fine.
I did that on purpose.
They stand out from mine then.
That's why I did it.
Yeah.
I really liked what they did at the demo at the game. We had green and yellows.
Green,
It was a lot easier to see.
Yep. We can tell who's who.
But I have noticed, and I will say this, and I don't want to speak out of turn, except for I've kind of looked on the internet a little bit. But I was actually a little concerned about the game. You got 10 dudes, 11 dudes, I think now. But there are a plethora of guys that have actually been announced and are on the release sheets.
Yes.
And I'm stoked about that. So
Yes.
it's not a game that's actually just going away where you just have 10 models and there's only 10 models and both of you are playing the same models.
This game. There's going to be
It looks
strategy
like
and
they're
how
gonna
you
grow
build your
it.
war bands
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
It looks really solid and it looks really awesome. There's also loot cards in the extra guys that you get, so you can use those loot cards in the warband and in any warband. But that's how you kind of grow your loot deck that you play with in each game. So it'll be cool. Check it out at 7:30. We will be back with it in whatever it is, half hour, 45 minutes from now, at 7:30 with our new stream. Well, we might not be done with the show for another 15 minutes. New top-down camera. We're going to see how that works.
We've been working really hard on the production value here. We've upgraded our microphones.
Yep.
We've added different cameras, and as you might notice, new backdrops. We're now filming inside a castle.
Frustrating, but I don't know, maybe not.
No, it worked really well. It worked
I
really
pop
well
off of this.
for Bad X Ash last night.
Good.
It looked really good, and we have more backups on the way.
Everything's coming, but
So-
we are doing upgrades. This is not a in your mom's basement kind of show. We want to do the upgrades. We want to grow, and to do that, we do need your guys' help. Follow us on Twitch.
Yep.
Follow us on YouTube. Those are going to be the two
Please.
big ones, and we can improve and make it all better and grow outside of the studio. I'd love to see that, and even maybe change some of the semantics of some of the shows. But we need the followers. We need the subscribers on all those.
So tell your
places.
friends.
So,
That's the
yeah.
big thing. Spread
Tell
the
your
word.
friends, get
Doesn't
everybody
cost
out
you anything.
there.
Just go tell your friends.
We would love organic growth, and that's what we need to do. But we have all of the stuff, all the social media on chaoticnight.com. You can check it out there.
Yep.
We also
Twitter
have some
and
blogs
Facebook are our
going.
big ones. The
Yep.
ones that probably get updated the most.
And those are on the website, so just check it out under the social media link. We have a news feed that goes through there, and all our shows. We have the General's Journey going on there, and you can check that out. As
Feel free to
grows
ask
and develops.
questions there as well. I mean, we do occasionally get like emails and stuff in with like people asking painting questions or things like that.
It's been good.
And we try to get back to them as soon as possible too. So
We're pretty quick. You can talk to us. We want to talk to you. We want to engage with the audience. So that's what this is all about. It's about you guys, and we want to make it about you. And in order to do that and do a better job of that, we need you to kind of get behind and support it. So
yeah,
that's what we'll be looking for. Anything else for this week?
I don't know. I think this week we have been really killing ourselves to get these Riot Quest models going.
Yeah.
And then Pathfinder coming, and I feel like I haven't slowed down my gaming immersion since Gen Con. Like if I'm not working on models, either building or painting. I've been building Conquest models too. From Parabellum Games.
That's right. Yeah.
And
I haven't started that yet.
I have like half a unit of the Spearman done and the character that came with it.
With no instructions, huh?
No, they're online.
Oh,
you go to their website. It's environmentally conscious of them to.
It's actually not bad.
To just have the PDF available online. So you go online, you download the directions. The models are pretty straightforward. Once I built the first couple,
I would figure
the first 6, because they come 6 to a sprue for the Spearman. The first 6 were really hard to build for me, and then after that, it sped up. Like the next 6 took probably half the time. I will say this, and this isn't a knock to Parabellum. Their models to me feel like Warhammer plastic models of like 2 or 3 editions ago. And what I mean by that is Games Workshop is a master of the craft at this point. And Parabellum is diving in like the fact that they went plastic injection molds impresses me. But like their sprue layouts could probably be refined over time. There's a lot of wasted space on the sprues. And their mold lines and like where your like little nubs of plastic where you clip them off are in some pretty bad places. And that's just something that I think comes from learning as well. And the plastic they use isn't as hard as Games Workshop's plastic. It's a little softer, which means it's easier to clean mold lines, but it's also easy to dig too far if you're using a knife to clean a mold line with. So you gotta be a little careful with that. But having said that, I know there's a lot of hype in our LGS about it. And like I'm pretty excited to get them built. Like I was looking at it, it's like I got like 24 spearmen to build, 12 crossbowmen to build, 3 big dudes, a hero, and then the big monster. It's not a lot to be able to play games, like to be able to play starter games. So my goal this week is to try to get more of that stuff painted.
Well, you just have the starter box plus one
extra box of
stuff. Yeah.
So I really want to get them going though and play some games, and I'm looking forward to painting them too. The models look really neat. I'm playing the
That's
Spires.
my next assignment.
I'm playing the Spires. No, somebody else did. That's cool.
Build the good guys.
Can't keep up. That's fine.
Oh, I got 5 Riot Quest models to build.
That's it.
No, they're built. I gotta paint them.
Yeah, that's like 2 days of painting. I mean, it's like 2.5 hours of painting if you want to break it down. But no, I'm looking forward to getting some Conquest models. When I get some painted up, we'll throw some pictures on the website.
It'll be fun.
And put them out
Yeah,
there.
check the website out. I think that's what we're kind of using as our central feed, and then you can kind of go to whatever social
It'll
media.
take you everywhere. It'll take you to our Twitch. It'll take you to our YouTube. It'll take you to.
From there. We have
all
Pinterest on there now. We're gonna get some pictures up of all the painting Chaos makes me do, and we'll mostly have Chaos' painting up there because it's better. But it will have Pinterest. We have Instagram and all.
Oh, and anybody who sees the pictures we put out there too, because I know we put some pictures out of the Riot Quest stuff today. You may notice that the Eris model on there is actually from the War Machine and Hordes line. That's because my Eris model was missing an arm out of the set. She came with 2 right arms and no left arm. And so I already sent the replacement for him. And Privateer is really good about getting pieces sent out to you. And they're always a little backlog after the con season. But fortunately, I had the normal Eris model from War Machine. So I just painted her up and we're using her in the game tonight.
And I haven't painted my Eris model.
I think that's it for like the news this week. The only other thing is that there's a rumor going around, going back to Games Workshop really quick for the Space Marines, because we have 2 Codex supplements coming, and there's rumor that we're going to get 4 more. So we'll see if that pans out or not.
So are they going to supplement
Imperial
like Dark
Fist? No, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, Space Wolves always get their own Codex.
Okay, perfect.
But the other chapters like Salamanders, Iron Hands, Imperial Fist, I think they might get it because White Scars and Ultramarines already are. And then Raven Guard would be the other one. I guess, if they wanted to, I guess you could throw in Black Templar, but Black Templar are technically an Imperial Fist successor, so maybe they put them in that book. I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know why Ultramarines don't actually get their own fat codex. They're like on every single picture that Games Workshop puts.
Because they're still the Space Marines. I mean, they're the Space Marines.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, give me a codex for just Ultramarines. I'm getting a supplement, so I'm excited. I'm excited about that. So.
All right. Well, I think that's all for the week. I think that's all our gaming news for the week then.
So next week we will see you at 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. Tune in after this for Riot Quest at 7:30. We'll be showing that on our Lock and Load. Tomorrow would normally be the Realms, which is our Pathfinder
RPG.
Pathfinder RPG show. Then we have Immersion RPG, but this week we're subbing in for Riot Quest.
This week is all messed up.
Missing,
So we will be playing Riot Quest. We'll have a special Lock and Load episode on Thursday as well at 7 o'clock. And then Fridays we don't stream. Saturday we do have Legacies of War, which is starting an hour earlier. It's starting at noon Mountain Time. And we're going to be doing 2 games. We'll be doing an Age of Sigmar game followed by a 40k game. So we'll be doing 2 full war games here with our new top-down camera setup. Hopefully it'll be a lot better. We're talking top-down camera, maybe a side view camera as well.
We'll see. I want to know what you think when you see the new, because we want to make the layout that works for you guys, the viewers.
The feedback we've got so far says top-down camera, but
we want all your feedback.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. Please interact with us on social media or just send us emails directly.
Yeah, and that's on the website. So. You can check that out, and then back to Monday because we won't see you before Monday or Sunday.
Dungeon Delvers.
Dungeon Delvers on Sunday at 7:30. Join the guys for Gloomhaven. Going back, I think they're serving the demons still. So
yeah, I think they went bad guys.
I want to check that. They're not bad. They're good. It's all perspective. And that's on Sunday at 7:30, and then Monday, come check out the Starfinder game as it continues.
RPG out of the box.
From RPG out of the box at 7:30 on Mondays. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And again, throw us a like or a follow. Anything you can do. We'll
see you guys back here in an hour.